Ben and Holly's Little Kingdom Magic School. Thanks for watching. Like, share and subscribe for more content. Let's meet the characters. King and Queen Thistle. Princess Holly. Nanny Plum, Rosie and Strawberry. Ben Elf, the wise old elf, Gaston the ladybird. Mrs. Fig.
Good morning, Your Majesties.
Says Nanny Plum.
Princess Holly would like to show you how well she is doing with her magic.
Says Holly.
Yes, I would. You can choose the spell.
Could you make me something pretty?
Asks Queen Thistle. Holly waves her wand and says.
Abracadabbity babbity boo.
Out comes a box of burps. It looks like Holly needs a little extra help with her magic. Holly is old enough to go to Mrs. Fig's magic school.
I went there when I was little.
Says Nanny Plum.
It sounds fun.
Says Holly, she wants her friends to come to magic school with her, even the elves. Elves do not do magic, but they want to go to magic school, too.
Oh, very well.
Says the wise old elf.
Today's lesson will be seeing how magic leads to trouble.
The children arrive at school and take their seats.
Good morning.
Says Mrs. Fig.
We're here to see all the magic go wrong.
Says the wise old elf.
Nothing will go wrong at my magic school.
Mrs. Fig says grumpily.
Magic should be used for sensible things, by sensible people.
Mrs. Fig starts the lesson outside.
Who would like to show me their favorite spell?
She asks.
I can do a growing spell.
Says Strawberry. She points her wand and says.
Babbity babbity bow, grow, grow, grow.
Mrs. Fig starts growing, and growing, until she's even taller than the trees.
Stop it.
Cries Mrs. Fig.
I know how to do growing, but not stopping.
Says Strawberry from down below. Rosie tired to help.
I know a spell to make things smaller.
She says.
Dibbly-dobbly-doll, small, small, small.
Suddenly, Mrs. Fig becomes very tiny indeed, and very angry.
As you see, children,
Says the wise old elf.
Magic always leads to trouble.
I'd better grow her again.
Says Nanny Plum with a sigh.
Figgy, figgy, fig, back to big.
Mrs. Fig takes the students back inside.
Those were two very silly spells. Can anyone think of a more sensible spell?
She asks.
Magic jelly.
Says Rosie.
Well, I suppose magic jelly has its uses.
Says Mrs. Fig.
But, someone sensible must wave the wand. Who is the most sensible person here?
the wise old elf.
Says Ben.
I'm not a fairy.
Says the wise old elf. But Mrs. Fig sparkles fairy dust in the wise old elf so he can cast a spell.
Jelly, jelly, but not a lot.
He says, waving the wand. A little bowl of jelly appears. The wise old elf is very pleased with this spell.
Jelly, jelly, and lots of it.
He shouts excitedly.
No. Stop.
Cries Mrs. Fig.
We don't want a
Jelly flood.
The children shout. The jelly flood grows so big that it bursts out of the school. King and Queen Thistle are taking a walk nearby when the jelly flood swallows them up, too. Now everyone is trapped in a sticky jelly flood.
Nanny Plum.
Scolds King Thistle.
Was this your doing?
It was him.
Nanny Plum cries, pointing to the wise old elf.
Oh, dear.
Says the wise old elf.
I believe I did do the spell. And it just goes to show that magic always leads to trouble.
Ben and Holly giggle.
I think you mean that magic always leads to fun.
Holly says.
Thanks for watching. Like, share and subscribe for more content.